Hello everyone, welcome back to Ileum Biology. Let's move ahead with our next class. Today we would be having a discussion on types of cancers. How do we name the different kind of cancers? This is what we would discuss today, and with that we would discuss some very important cancers that are prevalent in the country. Let's start. First of all, we would discuss how the tumors are named. What's the criteria to name them? See, the naming of tumors first of all depend on the type of tumors. As we all know, tumors are of two types, benign and malignant tumors. So to name the benign tumor, the suffix that is used is OMA, O-M-A. Just put the name of the tissue which is having the cancer, which is having the tumor first, and then the suffix used is OMA. For example, if the benign tumor is of fibrous tissue, that would be called as fibroma, or if it is of bone, then it would be called as osteoma. Now coming over to malignant tumors which are also called as cancers. Now naming of cancers depend on the tissue from which these have originated. Like if they have originated from epithelial tissue, that is, if the cancers are of epithelial tissue, then the suffix which is used is carcinoma. So all carcinomas are the cancers of the epithelial tissues. Similarly, if the cancers belong to the mesenchymal tissues, then they are called as sarcomas. So malignant tumors are named with two suffixes. First is carcinoma for epithelial tissue tumors, cancers, and sarcoma for the cancers of mesenchymal tissues. Now what are mesenchymal tissues basically? See, in an embryo, during embryogenesis, three layers are formed: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. This tissue called as mesenchyma is a part of mesoderm. Mesenchyma is a part of mesoderm, and then in embryogenesis, mesenchyma is responsible for the formation of all the connective tissues of the body and the muscles. All the connective tissues, which include bone, cartilage, blood, fibrous tissue. So all the connective tissues are developed from mesenchyma, and muscles, both smooth and skeletal muscles, develop from mesenchyma. So all the cancers of mesenchymal tissues are called as sarcomas. The suffix used is sarcoma. For benign tumor, the suffix is OMA. For epithelial malignant tumors, the suffix is carcinoma, and for the epithelial mesenchymal cancers, the suffix used is sarcoma. In total, around 85% of all the cancers belong to the carcinoma category, and 15% of them belong to the sarcoma category. So let's start with the examples. First of all, we are having three columns. In the first column, there are the tissues from which the cancers originate. The second column belongs to the naming of the benign tumors, and the third is of malignant tumors, that is cancers. Let's start with the epithelial tissue first. See, epithelial tissue are of varying types. The first one is, let's say, squamous epithelium. As we all know, and the best example of squamous epithelium is our skin. Now a benign tumor of squamous epithelium is called as squamous cell papilloma. Called as squamous cell papilloma. Remember, papilloma is the word for benign tumors for squamous epithelium, and if it is a cancer or a malignant tumor of squamous epithelium, because it is epithelial tissue, the suffix used is carcinoma. So this is called as squamous cell carcinoma, that is SCC. So just by looking at the name of SCC, we can say that squamous cell carcinoma is cancer of squamous epithelium. Next example is glandular epithelium. As we all know, glands are derived from the epithelial tissue. So the glandular epithelium, that is the tumors of the glands, belong to the category of epithelial cancers. So for glandular epithelium, if it is a benign tumor, the word used is adenoma. Adeno is the word which represents gland, and oma represents benign tumor. So adenoma is the benign tumor of glands. For example, thyroid adenoma, which means a benign tumor of thyroid gland. And if it is a malignant tumor or a malignancy, cancer of any gland, then it is called as adenocarcinoma. Why carcinoma? Because glands are having an origin from epithelial tissue. So adenocarcinoma is the malignancy of glands, and adenoma is the benign tumor of glands. Next is neuroectoderm. What is neuroectoderm? During embryogenesis, a part of ectoderm called as neuroectoderm is developed, which is responsible for the formation of central nervous system. And now in epithelial tissue case, we are talking about melanocytes. See, melanocytes are derived from neuroectoderm. So a benign tumor of melanocytes in skin is called as a nevus or mole. What is a mole? This is a mole which is very common in population, and you must have seen in various individuals. If there is the malignancy of melanocytes, then this is called as melanoma or melanocarcinoma. Earlier it was called as melanoma, but this is a misnomer because an oma, just simply a suffix oma, represents a benign tumor, but because this is not a benign tumor, so now the proper name is melanocarcinoma. Next, let's proceed with all the mesenchymal tissues. The first one is adipose tissue. Now, what are adipose tissue? These are the tissues which are responsible for the storage of lipids. So, a benign tumor of adipose tissue is called as lipoma. Lipo word used from lipids, and only oma, that means this is a benign tumor, and lipo is lipids, that is adipose tissue. And a malignant tumor of adipose tissue, because it is mesenchymal in origin, so the suffix used is sarcoma, so it is called as liposarcoma. Next is fibrous tissue. So a benign tumor would obviously called as fibroma, and a malignant tumor would be called as fibrosarcoma. Why? Because the sarcoma suffix is used for all the malignant tumors of mesenchymal origin, so fibrosarcoma. Next is cartilage. The prefix used for cartilage is chondro. Like the cells of cartilage are called as chondrocytes. So chondro word would be used as prefix, and for benign the suffix used is oma, so it is chondroma. Malignancy, it would be chondrosarcoma because it is mesenchymal. Next is bone. The prefix used for bone is osteo, as you must have heard this word in osteocytes, osteoblast, osteoclast. So osteo is a prefix used for bone. A benign tumor would be called as osteoma, a malignant tumor would be called as osteosarcoma because it is mesenchymal in origin. Next is smooth muscle. Now in muscles we have categorized it into two different groups, smooth muscle and skeletal muscle. For smooth muscle we would use a word called leo. Now if I split the word leiomyoma, leo is smooth, myo is muscle as in myosin, tropomyosin, and oma is a benign tumor, that means a benign tumor of smooth muscle. Now to name its malignancy, it would be called as leiomyosarcoma. Leo is smooth, myo is muscle, and sarcoma is a cancer of mesenchymal origin, so it is leiomyosarcoma. Similarly, for skeletal muscles, the prefix used is rhabdo. So the benign tumor would be called as rhabdomyoma. Rhabdo is skeletal, myo is muscle, and oma is benign tumor. Now its malignancy would be called as rhabdomyosarcoma. Similarly, if we talk about blood vessels, see, it is blood vessels and not blood. For blood vessel, the word used is hemangioma. See, what is heme? Heme is blood as in hemoglobin. Angio is a vessel. What does angio mean? Angio is a vessel, like in angioplasty, yeah, or angiography. And oma is benign tumor. So a benign tumor of blood vessels is hemangioma. Similarly, malignancy is called as angiosarcoma. The word sarcoma is used because it is mesenchymal. Next, lymphatic vessels, not lymph but lymphatic vessels. So it is called as lymphangioma. Lymph is lymph, angio is vessel, and oma is benign tumor, that is benign tumor of lymphatic vessels. And similarly, the malignancy is called as lymphangiosarcoma. Lymph, angio is vessel, and sarcoma is cancer, so it is lymphangiosarcoma. Next, very important is blood. See, you cannot find benign tumors in blood because blood keep on circulating, so any tumor would obviously metastasize. So benign tumors are not possible in blood. You would only see malignancies or the cancers in blood, and this is called as leukemia. Remember the word leukemia. In common words, we call leukemia as the blood cancer. Emia, whenever we use emia as a suffix, that means this is a condition which is associated with blood, and leuk word has been derived from WBCs. So it is an abnormal increase in number of WBCs, which is called as blood cancer, so leukemia. Now I would be having a good discussion on some common cancers and which are frequently asked in examinations. So let's start with the discussions. I would discuss only those things which are frequently asked in exams. I won't go into deep details. First is leukemia. As we just discussed, leukemia is blood cancer, and it is picturized by an increase in number of WBCs. See, what is the value of what normal WBC is? It is 4,000 to 10,000 per microliter of blood. It is not the entire body. Many students say that there are total 4,000 to 10,000 WBCs in body. No, it is not like that. It is present in 1 microliter of blood, and if your blood, 1 microliter of blood has got lakhs of WBCs, then you are a case of leukemia. Next is a very important concept called as chronic myeloid leukemia, and I have seen this question in NEET many times on a CML. See, chronic myeloid leukemia, as the word suggests, leukemia, it is a type of blood cancer, and it is caused by reciprocal translocation between chromosome number 9 and chromosome number 22. What is reciprocal translocation? Whenever two non-homologous chromosomes exchanges DNA amongst themselves, then such mutation is called as reciprocal translocation, and if it happens between chromosome number 9 and 22, then this leads to a type of blood cancer called as CML, chronic myeloid leukemia. This is a figure of normal chromosome 9 and normal chromosome 22. After reciprocal translocation, the segment of 9 has translocated to chromosome number 22. See here, this segment of chromosome number 9 now has been shifted to chromosome number 22, and similarly a segment from chromosome number 22 has shifted to chromosome number 9. So this is called as reciprocal translocation. Now after reciprocal translocation, the modified chromosome number 22, see, this is the relative size of chromosome number 9 and chromosome number 22. Chromosome number 22 is a very small chromosome. After reciprocal translocation, the modified or the changed chromosome number 22 is now called as Philadelphia chromosome. Philadelphia chromosome or PH chromosome. Why is it called as Philadelphia chromosome? Because it was discovered in the university in the city of Philadelphia. So it is called as Philadelphia chromosome. Philadelphia is a city in United States of America. This is a picture, a comparison between normal blood and leukemia. In normal blood, there are plenty of WBCs present, as you can see in this figure. These circular red colored cells are RBCs. Here are some platelets and some scattered WBCs. So this is a normal picture of blood. But in the case of leukemia, you would find many multiple WBCs present in the blood. This represents leukemia. Next is a very important lymphoma called as Burkitt lymphoma. See, this is a cancer of lymphatics, that is B cells, as we discussed in our immune system chapters about B cells. So this is a cancer of B cell. It was discovered by Burkitt in 1958 in African children, hence it is called as Burkitt's lymphoma, and it is a lymphoma which is caused by a virus called as Epstein-Barr virus, and this cancer is present in cases of immunosuppression patients. Now what is immunosuppression? Immuno is immune system, your immune power, and suppression means reduced or something which is less in severity, to suppress. So immunosuppression patients means those patients whose immune system is suppressed, is not working properly, as in cases of HIV AIDS. In AIDS, we very well know the HIV attacks helper T cells, which reduces your immune power. So in AIDS patient, Burkitt's lymphoma is very common and is frequently seen, and it is caused by Epstein-Barr virus, and the mutation involved is a reciprocal translocation between chromosome number 8 and chromosome number 14. This is a picture of Burkitt's lymphoma. You can very well appreciate the amount of swelling that is seen in the neck area of this patient. Reciprocal translocation is between chromosome number 8 and chromosome number 49. These are the normal chromosomes, and after reciprocal translocation they have exchanged their segments. Chromosome number 14's green segment has appeared on chromosome number 8, and the red band from chromosome number 8 is now present on chromosome number 14. So this is reciprocal translocation. Next, I will be having a discussion on Kaposi's sarcoma, another very important condition. Sarcoma, that means it is a cancer from mesenchymal tissues. It is a malignant angiomatous tumor. Angiomatous tumor, why it is called as angiomatous tumor? Because your blood vessels are involved in this, and it is named so because it was first described by Kaposi in 1872, and similar to Burkitt's lymphoma, this is also seen in immunosuppression patients like AIDS patient, but this is more common than Burkitt's lymphoma. Almost 30% cases of AIDS or HIV patients are having Kaposi's sarcoma. This is how frequently AIDS patients get diseased with Kaposi's sarcoma, this cancer. So this is a very common cancer present in 30% of the AIDS patient, and it is associated with human herpes virus 8, that is HHV8. As we discussed in our last videos, the biological carcinogens which are responsible for development of cancers, in that video also we discussed about HHV8 causing Kaposi's sarcoma. Now in Kaposi's sarcoma, gradually the disease spreads and more and more number of blood vessels start involving. Multiple small purple colored nodules are seen on the skin, as you can appreciate in this picture. In this picture, this is pellet, and this pellet is now having growths. This is Kaposi's sarcoma, and this picture. These are pictures of Kaposi's sarcoma. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching us. Keep studying hard, focus on the concepts, and you will excel in your studies. Thank you very much for watching us.